overnight, simmer 1 hour, cool and strain. Add more water and enter pre-mordanted fiber. Hold below 158 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. Higher temperatures produce browns. Light and light and wash fastedness is excellent. Let's tell you what to mordant it with.
Well, I have here, have all these pictures on the internet.
It sounds like you need to have a thermometer.
Yeah, I think you have a thermometer, don't you? Yes.
I do, I have a thermometer.
Perfect.
And then I've got indigo as well.
So we have to tie the wool, and no, it doesn't say, it's just saying here that the mordant chemicals, sodium carbonate is in Arm & Hammer washing soda, or you can find alum and cream of tartar. I have alum here. And okay, so you have to tie your wool so that it's going to stay together. And then soak the yarn for at least 5 hours in a slightly soapy water. And make sure that your rings don't get caught on your yarn if you want to move your yarn around in the thing. And you don't want it tied too tightly or else you're going to end up tie-dyeing.
Right.
And use a ceramic baking sheet to hold the yarn in the water while it soaks. So if you put something heavy over them. Also, you don't want to put dry yarn into the dye bath.
No.
Mix it up unevenly.
Yeah.
We'll never get to the center of the fiber that way.
Okay, so to make the dye bath, don't dye in cookie pots. Once used for dyeing, the pots should never be used for cooking again. I suggest putting on gloves and glasses before handling the chemicals. Sodium carbonate is caustic. Completely wipe down the area when through. Only use a stainless steel or other coated pot. Using an iron or aluminum pot will change the color of the dye. The recipe I use to dye 1 pound of wool yarn is mordant, 2 ounces of sodium carbonate, also known as soda ash or washing soda. I've got that. 1 ounce of cream of tartar. I don't know if I have cream of tartar. 2 ounces of alum. I have alum. I might have cream of tartar. I don't know.
It's usually when you make a meringue, you use that.
Yeah.
It makes it stiff.
Right.
And then the dye is 4 to 6 ounces or 100 to 170 grams of madder root powder and 1 ounce of Brazil wood powder. I don't know if you need that. The mordant is what helps to keep the color in the wool.
How much madder did it ask for and what form?
Powdered, and it's 4 to 6 ounces. And that will dye how much yarn? Wool. 1 pound of wool.
I've got all this, like, unbleached wool.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Somebody has spun it, and I got it at Salvation Army for $4 for the whole 2 bags.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perfect for dyeing, isn't
It
it?
is.
And then I've got
Perfect.
these dyes too, which are
Blue.
blues. And then,
Oh, that's your indigo.
yeah. So, I might have all the alum and, okay, so this is alum.
Okay.
Cream of tartar?
Cream of tartar.
Oh, good. Oh, cool.
See, I got this at the Spinning Guild.
Okay.
Somebody was selling it as a package.
Oh,
That's the nice
perfect.
thing about being in a guild is that they give you. So this is brilliant alizarin blue. This is an acid dye.
Oh, wow.
I have acid dye navy and acid dye blue. So I don't know what the difference is. But,
There's more in the bottom.
and then I've got these this violet maybe? Violet.
Whoa.
So acid dyes are pretty easy to use, but I think using them outside is always good. And then I've got these colors. You know, these just the regular
Uh-huh.
dye line. I'm not sure how to use them, but there's directions in here.
We did that at Mira, I think.
Did you use these little ones?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We used, I guess we used the icing sugar dye
Oh,
Oh,
or something like that. Yeah.
like food color.
Yeah, but it was in those, it's paste.
Yep, the really strong food colors
Yeah.
are pastes. Yep.
Do you want to start fresh in the morning and do this, or
Okay.
do you
Yeah.
want to do it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
think
sounds
it'd be good
good.
to sort of make a day of it.
So we need to soak, what do we need to do? What do your instructions say?
For
We-
this acid dye, which is the blues,
Uh-huh.
says dissolve the alum and cream of tartar in a 4 to 4.5 gallons in 4 to 4.5 gallons of cold soft water. Immerse the wool after first wetting it thoroughly and squeezing out excess moisture. Gradually heat the mordant bath to boiling.
Is that the 4 to 4.5 gallons? Whoa, that's a big pot.
Wait a minute.
I have a big pot in the teepee. It's got lye in it. Or you know, my lye,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Gradually, while the wool is in the solution, it should be turned and stirred to ensure complete penetration of the mordant. As the liquid boils away, add more water to maintain the original level of the bath. Allow the wool to stand overnight in the mordant. The following morning, squeeze out excess moisture, roll the wool in a dry towel, and store in a cool place. Rinse the mordanted material well just before immersing it in the dye bath.
So I guess we have to mordant it today
Yeah,
and then let it sit overnight.
sounds like it.
Okay.
You put it in twice? Is that what it means?
Put it in the mordant.
The mordant is what makes a certain chemical thing happen, I guess.
Okay. So, is it that you mordant it and then you dye it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it allows better penetration when you mordant something.
Yeah.
It'll hold the color
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something.
Take the color. Yeah. So it sounds like you want to
Fill
dye.
a large, this is the second part, fill a large container large enough to immerse fiber and move it around with warm hot water. Add acid dye, approximately 2 ounces. Experiment please, it says, and thoroughly dissolve. Get the fiber wet, squeeze out excess moisture and add to dye bath. Gently move fiber around to get an even dye distribution. After a few minutes, add 1 cup of vinegar, being careful not to pour directly onto the fiber. Stir gently for a few more minutes. Keep checking the color and remove the fiber when desired color is obtained. Try solar dyeing. It may take a little longer, but you won't need to stand over it. What is that?
You have to have it in the heat,
Set it out
the
in the
sun.
sun.
Oh,
But I think that would happen. That would be good if it was a hot July day.
So then you'd immerse it in and just let the sun work on it? Is that?
I guess. I've never done this on my own. I'm not on my own. You girls
we
are
could
with
hang
me.
a clothesline and we could put up all our colors. That would be kind of nice to look at,
Okay.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
we've
we
got
can do that.
all the color under the rainbow here. We've got blues, we've got yellows, oranges.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the acid dyes. That's another
Oh, I
technique,
see.
but we can-
Okay.
Because there's so many skeins here. We could
Yeah.
try different colors.
Yep.
Yeah. How fun. I have those jars of dye from Mira. The flowers.
Yeah, that
We
would
had
be an
ma-
acid dye.
Those are just in jars. I don't know if they're acid jars. No, this is like we had made the dye. We cooked the plants.
Oh,
We boiled the plants and made the dye.
well that's neat.
So I have the dyes there, but they mostly come out shades of yellow to brown.
Right.
Anyway,
It's always fun to experiment. Even if you get a brown, it's always Interesting. You can use onion skins too
For yellow.
for different, or rhubarb, is it rhubarb
Beets.
leaves?
Leaves, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have one big pot. We'll have to look in there and see how many pots we've got.
It'd be good to weigh the wool to see how much it weighs. And then we'll kind of know
Right.
how much
Yeah.
it will.
You can put in.
Well, that whole bag probably doesn't weigh more than 2 pounds.
Feels like. But you have a weigh scale, so we could weigh it.
Do we? Oh yeah, I have my soap scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've
Now,
got,
is that one skein?
that's several. Like it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 in here,
Oh, I see.
and then that's only half the bag. And then I've got all these ones.
Yeah.
Like it would make a good number of maybe a sweater or 2.
Yep.
Hmm.
Another 4 or 3 there.
So some other. It's probably obviously from a spinner, maybe, who
Yep.
had no more use for it or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a find.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Mhm.
So gosh, there's got to be 8 skeins in that one bag alone or more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 skeins there.
Wow.
Oh.
That would be quite a big sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't need it all for one sweater, would you?
This is a little. Oh, it's pretty much the same color.
I imagine that has come back from that's probably the wool has been sent away.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, to be all that done to it. Because it looks too uniform.
It does.
Quite
doesn't it?
uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anybody to have spun it themselves.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, when we need to chop, you'll be the one.
Okay. Fantastic. I was thinking more I would fetch hot water because after all, I've done water births. I know what that's all about.
She's a midwife.
Oh, I didn't realize we were filming. Okay. That's fine.
Okay, so this is what we have to do.
Okay.
Dissolve the alum and cream of tartar in the 4 gallons of cold, soft water.
Got soft water?
Right there.
Well water. Yeah.
That water over there, just rainwater.
Good.
Yeah. Immerse the wool after first wetting it thoroughly and squeezing out the excess moisture. Yeah, okay, so you squeeze it out and put it in.
Yeah.
Gradually heat the mordant bath to boiling. Boil it gently for 1 hour.
Is the wool in there?
It doesn't say. It just says while the wool is in the solution, it should be turned and stirred to ensure. Yeah, it sounds like it.
You're going to boil wool? Won't it shrink?
Yeah, won't you have boiled wool?
Wow. Well, I guess that's the way it's done.
Well, when I was boiling wool for rugs, as long as you don't stir it and agitate it, it might be okay.
Okay.
But all in all, it really just has to sit in the mordant overnight. And after it's gotten really hot and penetrated the fiber. I mean, I don't think it's probably, I don't think they boil it for an hour, do we? Oh, just boil gently. Maybe that means simmer.
Yes, I would think.
Following morning, squeeze out excess moisture, roll the wool in a dry towel, and store it in a cool place. Then you got to rinse the mordant out of it.
First, measure the ingredients. I use a food scale. Next, put the mordant items into a medium pot with warm water. Heat and just until dissolved. In a large pot, I use a canning pot, half fill with cool water. Add the mordant when it is dissolved. Put the dye ingredients into dye bags. The one I use are linen about 10 inches by 4 inches. I tie them with a leather tie. You could use anything that will withstand hot water. I am using 2 bags because I have doubled the recipe to dye 2 pounds rather than 1. Make sure the powder is not crammed into the dye bag so that the water can penetrate all the powder. Don't make the mistake that I have done by pouring the powder into the dye bath without putting the powder into a dye bag. If you do so, your yarn will be filled with madder root, and as you try to do anything with it, it will make a huge mess. Place the dye bags into the dye pot. Heat the dye bath to about 80 Celsius or 180 Fahrenheit. Do not boil. Boiling will drastically change the madder to a much more brown color. Stir occasionally. I also squeeze the dye bags occasionally to get the air out. Once the dye bath is finished, about 2 or 3 hours, let it cool. Take the dye bags out, squeezing them to get as much color as possible from them. Okay, well, that didn't really say what we were saying before.
Well, that's the madder one, and you're talking about a different
Yeah,
kind of
this
dye.
one's the acid dye.
Okay, so to do acid dye, we do it that way. And to do mordant, we do it this way. I mean, not mordant, madder.
Yeah, so this is pretty good description. Except it doesn't tell you what the mordant is, but that's okay.
In this one, it says it's alum and cream of tartar and washing soda.
Okay. So it just says break and chop the roots, soak overnight, simmer in water below 185 degrees for 30 minutes. Cool overnight. Then simmer 1 hour. After it's been cooled overnight, you simmer it 1 hour, cool and strain.
That's 2 days.
Yeah, so we'd have to do this tonight. Add more water and re-enter the pre-mordanted fiber. So we have to mordant the fiber tonight.
Okay, so we mordant the fiber and we soak the madder.
I think that,
Okay.
and simmer it.
And then tomorrow, what do we do with the pre-mordant fiber?
You just put the two together.
And then for how long, and what are the details?
Said add more water and enter pre-mordanted fiber. Hold below 158 degrees for 1 hour. So you just let it sit in the dye bath for an hour.
Okay.
But it has to be at pretty low. What is 158 Fahrenheit? Is that? Can you put your hand on it?
No. I don't think so. Like, I think a sauna, people said a sauna somewhere between, I don't know what it is, like 125 and 100 and 125.
Because boiling is
212.
212. So.
Yeah.
Okay, you just tell me what to do.
Well, if you've got, do you have
All this is so much information. It just went in my head and
Yeah.
spun around, and then
If you have a thermometer, that would be helpful.
I have a thermometer
And a big pot.
and I have a few big pots.
That you're not going to use for anything else.
Yeah, well, I'm using them for the lye already, so
Okay,
it's
so
not
that's
for
good.
food. And I have a canning pot, but that's aluminum, which is already a mordant.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And the pot the lye is in is it a steel pot?
Stainless steel.
Okay.
That's the lye you made yourself.
So I have to get a canning jar and put that lye in it.
And what does it say? 4 to 4.5 gallons of water?
This is for the acid dye. The 4 and 4.5.
Okay. And what's this quantity?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
But I guess.
So the madder root has to be chopped up, right? And then what do we do with it?
We simmer it.
Okay.
And basically, we're just simmering it and then straining it. Straining it?
Break and chop roots. You want me to try that with the? Maybe we shouldn't use your.
I can use the grinder, the food processor.
Okay. Okay.
But, well, are you going to use it for food?
Yeah, but it's only, I'm not using the
The chemicals?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, it'll clean off. It's stainless steel knife and a plastic container.
Okay.
Okay. I'm game.
What this says is use it 50 to 100% WOF. What is WOF? For medium shades.
Google WOF.
Weight of fiber.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't really get what that means, but
What does it say?
use on protein or cellulose fibers. Pre-mordanting recommended. Madder gives dramatic reds, brick reds to orange and coral. Use at 50 to 100% WOF for medium shades. You might want to find
It's
out
not
what
WOF. It's not weight of fiber then.
No. You might want to find out what WOF means.
Some factor?
Yeah, because if that, yeah.
Weight of fiber, yeah.
Huh.
The amount of mordant and dye stuff to use is based on the dry weight of fiber, or WOF. For
Okay.
mordanting, the percentage of WOF is consistent. So here we have another whole thing about dyeing.
So if you have 50 grams, what is that, 50 grams of that stuff? Does that mean you can only do,
100 grams?
that's
Or 150 grams?
yeah, 50.
The percentage is dependent on the desired shade. 5 to 20% would give lighter shades, 20 to 60% medium shades, 60 to 100% very dark shades. Well,
Okay.
so what does that mean? Percent of what? Like percent of the weight of
madder
the...
to the weight of the yarn?
I know, but is it the amount of mordant, the amount of this stuff you're going to use?
I guess.
Maybe the weight of that
Good
compared
Lord,
to the weight
then
of the fiber?
that you can hardly do any yarn with
So
that.
this is 50 grams. Use at 50 to 100% weight of fiber for medium shades. So 50 grams will dye 100 grams of fabric,
Or
Yeah.
150.
or 150 grams, which is not very much. It's a
No.
quarter of a pound.
Yeah.
But maybe is one skein a quarter of a pound?
Maybe. Doesn't seem worth it, does it?
And it's for weight of dry fiber. Well, you spent $5.50 for this amount of matter. You'd think it would do something.
Well, let's weigh the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So 50 to 100%. So if you had the 50% rate would be 50 grams of that to 100 grams of
Maybe it's about half of it.
100 grams of wool. So let's go and weigh the wool, and that'll help determine whether it's worth it.
Yeah. Since we can already get a red.
Yeah.
It's
Want me to take your laptop?
Yes, please.
You're
this other-
welcome. Do you need a hand?
Oh, I don't need anyone to
Yeah.
clap for me.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
There it